I always do it. So how is it that they got to go to somewhere else at this point?
Welcome to the Tall Table. I am Mike.
I'm Ray.
DJ Line 7.
Dayron.
And today we're talking about conspiracy theories.
Oh, yes, we are.
I like conspiracy theories. That should be interesting for sure. For sure,
It will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Heard of some outrageous ones.
Definitely outrageous.
Speaking of which, one of them is that we live on a flat Earth.
Oh, God.
So what do we think about that? Let me sigh.
As we collectively sigh together.
You know what? Terry gave us some of these topics. We were going over what we wanted to talk about, and one of them was the flat Earth. So I don't like to speak from ignorance. So last night I went online and I checked out all of their theories. So if you want to debunk it, I have their answers.
Okay.
So if you guys want to try to debunk it, like prove to me that the Earth is not flat, I can tell you all of their answers.
Okay.
Oh, the flat earthers answer?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you're going to debate us on why the earth is flat, so you're taking that kind
Prove
of
to me.
standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, that's how these people are.
Okay.
No, I get it.
No, but that's why.
Okay, so why do you think the Earth is flat? What makes you think that we live on a flat
They
Earth?
have all this evidence that the Earth is flat.
How? Whenever I see popular evidence to contrary all of that.
Such as, what's an example of your evidence that it's not flat?
Well, whenever people go to the moon and they look back, they see a
Okay.
round Earth.
Their theory is that we've never traveled to the moon, and the entire space program, not only of the United States, but of China and the U.S. and Russia also, is that it's all a big conspiracy.
Okay, so let me stop you there. So then, therefore, if we look at it that way, even if we haven't traveled to the moon, is it fair to say that there's no satellites in the?
That was what I was going to say. I was going there too.
Yeah.
There's no satellites. There's no cell phones.
Mhm.
There's no cell phones. There's no internet. There's
They
no-
actually say there are satellites, that we have gotten that high, but if you look at any photographs from the satellites, they've all been doctored.
Okay, but then what happens is, do they feel as if the satellites just went up all by themselves? Or was there an actual person?
We are able to do that. We haven't been any higher than that. Because you know where the satellites are? They're actually pretty low. They're not as high as the space program and the International Space Center, all of that stuff.
Right.
That's all supposed to be higher.
I think a lot of them
than
think
the
that
sky.
it can be done by the cell phone towers and stuff, too.
Probably. They can
Most of
explain
them
the way.
just
So
Cell
then my next question is going to where Terry was at, the astronauts. We've had so many astronauts that have been, it's world renowned, that have been, that have gone on bus. You
Yes.
have all of these different people, not
Yeah,
just
that's
one,
been
not
a
just
long
two.
time.
You got quite a few. So they feel that they're all in the conspiracy theory that
they're all being paid
to say that
to
they're.
say that they've been on the moon.
Oh, wow.
And when you see them floating along the moon, that's on the stage set. They have wires.
Well, we've heard that before.
Yeah.
We've heard that for so.
But you know what's funny though? You know how they said don't trust media, don't trust photographs, don't trust videos? Their evidence is videos. They are showing videos where you can see lines put in there showing that they're on wires. And I'm like, well, but you said not to trust anything. So how can I trust these images of little glimmers of wires?
So let me understand. Because I kind of feel like I got an interesting perspective from
Tyler?
From Tyler
My
yesterday,
nephew.
and true enough, he didn't have all of his facts together that even made
Most of
absolutely
them
any
don't.
sense.
Most of your flat earthers
Okay,
don't know the theories of the flat earth.
So then, if that's the case, then my understanding is that for it to be a flat Earth, going on a vertical end of the spectrum is
horizontally,
horizontal. It's going to be basically
it goes on
continuous
forever and ever.
infinity.
Yes, Earth, as we know it, is the center of the universe. And the sun and the planets, because that was one of my questions was, well, all the other planets are around, why wouldn't Earth be around?
Right.
Those are floating, I forgot what the word that they called it, floating bodies that are up in the air, the sun and all the other planets. And if, let's say this is the Earth, the sun is rotating around the North Pole, that's why sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. And the planets are also doing the same
So
thing.
then, if we can go as far, if we go within depth, the depth of it being that we're flat, if we go with depth, we're going to fall through.
Okay, but hold on. If the Earth is flat, What about all the other planets that we show? We show other planets that are round. All 9
They
planets.
believe in those planets.
So all those planets flat too?
I don't
No,
think that
all
they
the
believe
other
that they're
planets.
actual planets. That they just believe that they're just these things made up in the sky in order to fool us.
No, for the record, they do believe in other planets.
Mhm.
So they believe that the other
But we're the
planets are
only
flat.
planet that's hospitable. And those are just
Well, that's kind of a
solar-
fact in a way.
Those are bodies that are out in space that have been pulled in by the gravity, and they're just rotating all around Earth. Not around the sun. They're rotating around the Earth.
So where do they get that information that is something real there? Where is that information coming from? Being that they basically
What, the
said
sun and
the sun and the planets and stuff like that. Being that we've never gone past a certain component, how do they feel as if that's real? Because you kind of went back to that whole thing saying everything was made up.
The planets?
Yes, the planets.
No, they do believe in the round planets surrounding Earth. So when you look at through like a
How?
telescope and you're looking at Mars or one of the other
Right.
nearby planets,
Right.
and you see it's round, they don't have a problem with that. They just think that Earth is not
So
round.
therefore, for this to be proven, they would have to go to Saturn and look in a telescope back at Earth just to go ahead and see
Yes. Which was one of my things is we have photos of the Earth.
the dumbest thing in the world. So
I know you're trying to be logical,
No.
but they say all of
Okay.
the photos of Earth taken from the moon and other places like that. Those are all doctored.
Okay,
That's
so
it-
my
that's
thing
part
is,
of the
okay, so
conspiracy.
my thing about it is, who is the governing body of this theory that can go on to get into a spaceship, go to one of these planets, and then get in and just see that the Earth is thing? There's no governing body person.
No, and they
Because
say
at that point, if we keep going off of that, it's going to go off a conspiracy that everybody's getting paid now.
Yeah, well, we're
Yeah.
just going to have to send one of them just out into space. Not so much a planet, but just send them out into orbit so
But-
they can see the Earth from orbit.
You can't do that
That would
because
be the only way to
it
go
goes
here.
back to the whole thing of everybody's getting paid. So even if that one
But
person
just send one of the flat earthers. Like
I
the
understand
main
that,
flat
but what
earther.
happened is, again, if that flat earther decides that that's what I said,
That
who's
he
the governing
changes his
body?
mind, for
He
example.
changes his mind, then it's like, what, did you get paid off to go ahead and change your mind?
Well, how far are we from just having people paid to take trips out into space?
that's
another
happening
thing.
very
That's
soon.
very close
actually.
to that.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
yes, I
just
just saw
recently
that.
announced
Yes.
that. Yes.
Who's doing it? The guy from Virgin Mobile. He's the owner for Virgin Mobile. He's
I think you're thinking about SpaceX. SpaceX is the commercial
Elon.
business.
Elon wants to send
Elon
somebody to
Musk
the moon.
is-
it's not Elon.
That's
He-
for
he's
Mars
thinking about
and everything
Gifton.
else.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the one that's putting in a tremendous amount of money for people to actually a ship to be actually built that's going in tandem.
Yes.
I thought with NASA to go to different planets and all of that different stuff like that. So I heard that. I mean, I've been reading about that, and I don't want to speak out of turn or make it seem like I know, but I know that they're pretty close to capturing something of that magnitude.
Sure. But that was one of the things that I read is I read their entire website, the Flat Earthers Society, and there was nothing on there about SpaceX or none of these commercial companies that are now working. But I guess they would say, well, those are all government contracts. And so it's all part of the conspiracy. Do you know this is what the conspiracy theory is? Is back in the 1960s when we were racing against the Russians to get to the moon, the Russians were equally as bad as we were. Remember the early ones?
Yes.
They had astronauts dying, and so they said all of a sudden we get the science to go to the moon after all these terrible crashes. Well, both the USSR, which is what it was then at that time, and America both cheated on each other so that they could claim that they got to the moon first. And they both showed footage that was doctored and made up in movie studios. And so, well, why would they do that? For the money. Because think about the billions of dollars that have been invested in the space program. That's money that's going into the individual's bank accounts.
Well, back then they had the Germans and everything working on all that kind of stuff.
And it was an international program. It was a lot of
They
people.
had a lot of like
Japan was
Nazi
too.
German scientists working on those kind of programs in order to get us like.
But they're saying that it
Win the
never
race.
happened, that they tried and tried and it never happened. They even say NASA's conspiracy doesn't cover that they know the Earth is flat and they're trying to cover that up. They actually say no, NASA probably thinks that it is round. That's what scientists believe it is that it's round, but we've never gotten up high enough to be able to see it.
Do we have a number of people that really do?
I didn't see that anywhere.
No.
Because I think the thing that amazes
But it's
me-
growing. It's growing and there's more and more people.
But I think the thing that amazes me about it is just like there are famous people who believe this. Like one of the people that I know is the Kyrie from
Yes.
Kyrie Irving.
He's doing a lot of harm out there, but yes.
And again, my nephew, he's so easy to believe stuff, and that when Kyrie says something like that, of course, and he is just.
Well, my thing about it is, I'm open to anything. You know, that's my biggest thing. I'm open to anybody's thought process and stuff like that. But if I'm sitting here questioning certain things, and you can't give me any factual things that even remotely make sense to what we've gone through as far as school, and what are you going to say? It was a conspiracy theory about teachers going ahead and teaching you. We can go on and on and on and on about
They
that.
all believe it because that's what they were educated with from elementary school, is that the earth was round.
Right. So my thing about it
just
is,
wrong.
even if that's the case, whomever this is that's proclaiming this, sit down and be able to answer some questions about
Agreed.
it. It's just like, how is this? How did we grow up this amount of time saying that this was this? Now all of a sudden you come in to the end of the world and just be like, oh no, we've been lied to the whole entire time. It's black.
But again, 1,000 years.
Yes.
But again, the reason that these weren't so big, even though they were big, they were known back then. These conspiracy theories. The reason they're growing so big now is because of the internet and social media.
Yeah.
That's why they're growing. That's why people are believing this stuff more.
I want to tell you a little bit more about the flat earth thing. It's kind of funny. Not funny. I'm not trying to make fun of people, but or use judgmental
Yes, you
terms
are.
for them.
Yes, you are.
But
Yes, you are.
If you
You
were
told
to
me
see-
on the side note
Well,
that you can't stand them.
I think it's stupid. I think the theory is stupid.
A lot of stupid people.
There's
out
a
there.
lot of stupid
And
people
now they
out there,
have
and
a
there's
voice.
more and more.
But the thing about
Stupid people are giving birth to stupid people.
But the thing about it is,
So,
you can
that's
kind
very
of
true.
you kind of have a
Stupidity's multiplying.
platform
It
that you
is.
can end up saying that because you read into it. So therefore, you have a thought process of knowing what you thought the Earth is round, and you did some further depth and detail of investigating and
Trying to
getting out,
understand.
trying to understand to see where we may have common ground or if they have a point. But you clearly, yesterday after you doing all the research, you clearly said. I kind of looked in your face. You were just like, "Oh, this is the most." I thought it was stupid.
the more
this
I
is ignorant.
learn,
for
the more
sure.
ignorant that it appears.
Yes.
The Earth is actually flat and round. Picture like a pancake. All of our continents are on that pancake. So that's why you can fly from India to America.
And we have the Antarctic wall
As you're flying
holding our
around.
waters.
And you have the Antarctic wall. It's a wall of ice. And they say no scientists have been beyond the wall of ice, but that it
So
goes
we-
on forever and ever.
So
and
White
ever.
Walker's out of that bitch
It's
too.
been- Like the North is not coming.
How can people be so? Oh my god!
Oh man.
It's oh god.
And I was wrong about them digging through and then falling in space
Okay.
because we're the center of the earth. We're the center of the universe. If you keep digging, you just can't dig down deep enough. The Earth is deeper than what we have the technology to dig down deep enough for.
But if we are the center of the universe and everything rotates around it, wouldn't that change our gravitational pull and everything?
Gravity, one of the other topics. The Earth is always rising at 32 feet per second. So just like you're thrown back in your chair when a really fast car takes off, that's gravity. We're being pulled, we're being pushed down because the Earth is always racing up at 32 feet per second.
But kind
How
of listen
they
to
got
what
that, I
I'm
have no
saying
idea.
though. You know how if anything happens to the moon, the Earth is like doomed because of
Of tides.
yes,
Tides, yeah.
yes. So if we have the moon and all these other planets gravitating around us, wouldn't that throw off everything?
If something happened to the moon?
No,
or-
just like it would make us like. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like we already have the pull. We can't be the center of the universe because then. I'm trying to say this.
Like if we didn't have the moon, it would mess all the tides.
It would
up,
mess
and
everything.
We would have tsunamis
And
and
Yes,
everything.
shit would
yes,
be
we would,
crazy.
and we're very blessed to have
Crazy
the moon.
storms.
But I'm still trying to say, but the pull though, if we're the center of the universe,
Right.
the center, and everything is gravitating around us,
Above us.
Above us.
Because you were going below us, but nothing goes below us.
Nothing goes
Here
below
we
us,
are,
yes.
And everything is rotating
Above us.
oh my god,
And where's
So
it going?
your center, the thing is, you're thinking of the center
Yeah.
and all of the planets. No, they say that our center is below all of these
Yeah.
planets and they sit above us.
Like when you're in a science center and you sit there in that little coliseum and you see all the planets and all the stars above you, that is us.
That's how they see it.
That is us. We are the
Exactly.
Coliseum. We are Earth. And
Yes.
then we're just
Everything else
we
is
have
just
this
above
little
us.
picturesque that we're being shown.
wow,
So that's the
Crazy.
flat Earth theory.
wow, that's crazy.
Flat Earthers are out there. There's a whole community of them.
Can
They
we
have meetings, hotel stays. They go to Disney with shirts. It's crazy.
All right, can we move to another topic that I have a huge problem about?
Okay, what's another conspiracy?
The Illuminati. Yeah, I guess
The
y'all.
same people who believe in the flat earth often believe in the Illuminati.
All right, look, this is my thing.
It's on the dollar bill.
I try
Is it this?
Yes, that. And the thing is, I kind of first knew about the Illuminati in Tomb Raider. The very first Tomb Raider with Laura.
John Bullitt.
No,
How about the video game or
no,
The very first
movie,
one.
the movie,
With Angelina Jolie
yes.
and John Boyd.
And John Boyd,
Yes.
When did when did that come up?
Tomb Raider, you
Tomb
watched
Raider.
it? That's
I
true.
watched the movie. Yes. When did this theory come up?
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is the very first time I heard about the Illuminati was through the movie Tomb Raider. Then I was just like, okay, this is Hollywood, cool.
So that's supposed to be the Illuminati, the people that are trying to keep her from investigating? I don't remember them being in the movie. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
No, the Illuminati was basically the people that, if you remember the triangle that basically shape shit, time travel and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah,
they were the one that basically were the gatekeepers to time travel.
Oh, I guess I forgot that.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my first real knowing of what the Illuminati is. Now it's became much more prevalent now in our world because now you start having celebrities, hip hop artists, singers, every walk of life that is kind of in a sense weird is gravitating and holding on to that or giving those questions. Case in point, my biggest one that I had was, I was just like, really, was Gucci Mane, famous rapper. He went to jail and he went in because they call him Snowman. That's his nickname because Soul Coke or whatever it was, but he was on lean. It was extremely, extremely heavy. Went in, he was like 70 pounds overweight or whatever.
Then he ate prison food.
Prison life, period. Keeping people off of them.
You don't get fat in prison.
You don't get fat in prison. He spent his X amount of months, years in jail, came out, and he was completely skinny, half the person that he was. And they said
He looked completely different.
He did look different when he came out.
exactly, and
Where'd all the
everyone.
SAG go?
Well, SAG is not going to be there because he wasn't abundantly heavy. It was enough where he could go ahead and elasticity in the skin would go ahead and thing if he was working out. He came back out, and let's just say he went in 220 pounds. He came out 160 pounds. So they did these side-by-side pictures of him at that point, and they were like,
all the time.
they were exactly. My thought process is maybe he took it serious. He was on the yard. He was working out.
There's nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to go ahead and do. The first thing that I saw on, I'm not going to say, it wasn't even, I'm not going to throw any publications out, but it was one of those ones that's saying, the thought is the Illuminati. That was really not Gucci Mane.
You're saying it was a credible resource, but that means that they're not credible.
What I'm saying to you is, I don't know if it was a credible resource.
I'm sure it wasn't.
The thing about it was, it wasn't just one. It wasn't just two. It wasn't just three
Was
or
it
four.
the National Enquirer, or was that the?
No, it was through Facebook. So again, it was going to be through one of those things because but the thing is, what you subscribe to is what you subscribe to. Because on Facebook, I can subscribe to CNN. I can do the New York Post. So I'm with a lot of different things. But the thing is, that first avenue of, instead of saying, people say, oh, he is working out, jail life is hard, and he just lost weight off of that end, it was Illuminati. It was really not him. He's a doppelganger. He's whatever. I heard 50 million things just off of him then at that point. Then it start translating into Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's just
anyone who's successful, anyone who is super successful,
that's what I opened.
Didn't do it on their own.
But
They had to do it
like
through the
But they're always out there
Illuminati.
doing that shit too, though. In all the concerts, he's always out there like.
Well, that's The Rock. That's
Rock.
that's The Rock. It's basically The Rock was basically a triangle that him and Dame Dash basically thing, and they always used to throw it up the Rock.
And it
So
had
was
nothing
Rock.
to do with the top of the pyramid on the dollar bill.
Nothing.
It was a
But people
completely
have tried
different
to
thing.
tie that shit together, though.
Because he's successful.
He's successful.
Anyone who is super successful made it only because of the Illuminati.
The
They didn't do
Illuminati.
it because of their talent or anything
There's supposed to be
else.
some secret organization that works behind the scenes,
Right.
But you have to like sell your soul or something. That's what I would
Basically, yes.
You
You're
have to
selling
sell
your soul.
and then
You
they-
sell your soul,
in
and then
exchange.
basically in exchange, you get exactly what it is that you're looking for. So whether it's success, whether it's beauty, whether it's clout, whatever it is at that point in time, that's your trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a sense, you still work for them, and you work for them in a sense. Once you get that, whatever their will is, it kind of is instilled through them, and they have to kind of go ahead and do it.
The bigger you are, the more likely Illuminati helps you.
Agreed, and that's the reason why then they start talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce
So, of
getting
course,
married.
it has
They're the
nothing-
biggest
it has nothing to do
recording
with their
industry.
talent and the
Right.
fact that
No.
Nothing to do
they
with
have
hard
21
work
Grammys.
and
Exactly.
creativity. None of that matters. It's all done by the Illuminati.
It's all done by them. It's all they got married because of the Illuminati, because they needed to be this superpower couple.
So it's basically like the Illuminati was like, okay, you gave us this, so we'll pick you to bring you up and bring all the publicity onto you because they control all the media and all the publicity. So they're like, we'll just put the spotlight on you now since you did this for us.
Yeah.
We'll do this for you. You continue working for us, and it'll get better and better. You stop.
I wish I had read up on the Illuminati because that's not one of
It's,
those.
Terry kind of hit it. It's a secret society.
Oh,
it's
I know.
It's
Yeah.
basically a
I
secret
just don't know
society
anything beyond that.
of very. Well, I'm not going to say they're very affluent people, but you don't know where they are. They're very
Right, it's that secret society
Yeah.
that's been controlling us for
yeah.
hundreds of years.
Under
It definitely
and
controls the media.
people are basically. I've heard that one of the top people of the secret society that's in cahoots big time is Trump.
Yes.
Go figure.
Yes,
Yes.
he's the king of conspiracy
Yeah.
theories.
He's not smart. Yes, he's the king of conspiracy theory, but
But
he's
But
not
believe
smart
it.
enough.
if
He
you think
believes
if you
each
think
and
about
every one
this,
of them.
if what I just said hits you at any point, they control it. So he's not smart enough to, but they can position
Positioning.
positioning
Okay.
other people
Attention to
into
himself.
things.
That's
Yeah,
like the main
because
reason.
that's how the birthday thing got it. That was a conspiracy, and then he latched onto it and
Well,
made it
he's-
into a political.
He's got a stupid
weapon.
mind, so that's what he
Yes.
latches
I mean,
onto.
that was a conspiracy theory that Barack Obama was not born.
Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit to me because I feel as if both of these are the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It's just like if you cannot bring once again a factual component that makes absolutely sense or somewhat of sense, I can't sit there. I mean, I feel like I'm just looking at you like, why are you alive? Why are you alive?
I
mean,
just lose respect when I learn people believe certain things. I totally lose respect for them.
Well, then that's why are you alive? Because if I have no respect for you, it's just like I don't need to deal with you. So
Have you ever tried to go on their website?
who?
Like just Illuminati.com.
I need to do that. I need to read up
It's
on
just
them.
like a website. It's just a
Yeah.
page. You can't log in. It's
Yeah.
just like I think it has some kind of a pyramid graphic that's blue. It's been a long time since I tried to go on there.
But you know,
But it's just like this weird.
it's sadly enough, being that they're a secret society, they're not going to have a website that is going to be credible. I think somebody will say
Talking about them. There's a website
themselves.
about them,
Yes,
but yes.
because they're a secret.
Yeah.
That's what it's been. So you'll have somebody that probably wants the views, wants to go ahead and have a blogger or something that tries to be an imitator.
No, that's
But
something
I just
else.
feel as if,
I think you're
you
gonna
know,
have to
they were
figure out
exposed
actual-
somehow. Some person put that out there, and people have now ran with it.
The theory of the Illuminati.
Have you ever seen? Did you ever see the movie Sherlock Holmes? Do you remember that with Robert Downey Jr.?
I remember the movie. I don't remember the Illuminati, though. I don't remember them being in
It's the
movies.
secret society that
But they called them the Illuminati?
No.
it was kind of in the sense they didn't call them Illuminati, but it made inference. That's what they were.
Maybe they
Terry,
bought it. They
you
bought it.
Terry, you remember Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
You remember that whole group that he was going against with?
They were the Illuminati. I
They
believe,
didn't say Illuminati, but they made inference
to a secret society.
to a secret society where it was prominent
This
people.
was the second one, wasn't it?
It was the it was the second. It was the one with yeah. It was the second one. It was the second one.
Which movie?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
and the one guy that he was trying to go ahead and
Yeah, they have it. They own that. They own that.
I know that's part of the theory, though, is that they worm into everything.
But evidently,
to get us used,
they've been
get us used to the concept.
But evidently, they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes.
And they've been guiding policies
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
they had their hand in everything.
That's what, kind of like the Vatican or the Pope, kind of like that kind of thing. But,
I have a question. Does the Illuminati have anything to do with the Freemason Society?
We'd have to research
I have
it.
to research that. I have zero clue.
I have
You
zero
know, like they have
knowledge
the
of it. too.
Freemason lodges kind of all over the place in different like little cities.
It was a fraternity of men. I know that, the Freemasons.
It's like the oldest.
But they're also biblical.
Like
They
that.
have biblical verses that they study and everything, or that they reference. But other than that, I don't know anything about them.
I thought there was like some kind of tie between them because Illuminati is supposed to be what the oldest
There is.
organization that there is,
Freemason, yeah.
and the Illuminati and the Freemasons are supposed to be somehow tied together.
And it even is, because Churches through the Catholic Church. Yeah, it's been around for a long
They're tied together somehow.
Yeah, I knew it was something with the Catholic Church because I remember reading something about that a long time ago.
It's all interwoven. It's like this whole little underground community somehow.
All right, can we move to a thing that we have some sort of factual stuff, something that's relevant, like case in point,
Area
the
51?
thing? No,
Area 51. What about
hell no, I don't want to do Area. How about this? What's going on in the Dominican Republic?
UFOs.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yes,
I can't. No,
yes.
I don't have enough drink for
You
that.
should go get a drink. You should.
We
We'll talk
don't
about
got
where you're
nothing. We don't
going.
got nothing. Then there I want to
Okay.
drink.
Ray doesn't believe in UFOs.
No, I don't.
Even though there's millions of planets, we're the only planet, because we are the center of the universe, we're the only planet that has life on it.
Okay, hold on. I have to. Okay, I agree. I agree with Ray, and I don't agree with Roy. Kinda. The reason I say that is because we can't be the only
Form of life.
beings in the universe. But at the same time, I have seen no signs of extraterrestrial. 51, that is, to me, that's a rumor. I know it's supposed to be this place. It's
No,
been
there
on
is
so
an
many
Area
shows.
51. It's
Okay.
been proven. They actually
Definitely.
released those records back in 2012.
Okay.
The U.S. government released the records showing you aerial because of satellite photography.
Okay.
And
But you know what? It could just be a base.
Yes, it could be. It could be just a
base.
base. It could be.
Because again, if we aren't the most intelligent people in the universe, then why haven't they made themselves known?
Why would they want to? Though?
Why would
Maybe
they want
they're
to?
just
Yes.
observing.
If we are ignorant and below them and everything, and they probably look at us as just being
but who's to
ants,
say- okay,
why do they
who's to
want
say-
it themselves known?
Okay, but who's to say that they are above us? I mean, at the same time,
If they have flying saucers, that puts them above us. That means they've got the technology that we don't
Yeah.
have.
okay,
They've
we didn't
just
say
made
that.
some
Okay, I
mistakes
didn't
and
say
they
they had
crashed.
flying saucers. I just saying, how do we know that they even, you know what I'm saying?
No.
The only existence that we have are photographs and videos of flying saucers.
And people's admittance of the flying saucers.
And
People
and don't
that
forget the
work
people
there.
who've been abducted and came back to Earth.
Well, that's a whole
Ooh,
different story.
that's
You
a whole
cannot be
nother-
serious right now.
I'm joking.
Oh, I can really say. I was like,
But
are
there
you
are.
serious?
I am so joking.
But there's people that are not joking about that. But
Yeah.
that's
They're
not,
very serious about
that's
it.
like that's a whole nother conspiracy theory in its own right there. That's like branching off from UFOs to people being abducted, the fourth kind.
But you
kind of
see-
And
shit.
studied and all that sort of
That,
thing.
like that's insane. I'm talking about like the people that have said that they
Pilots.
worked in Area 51.
Pilots, for example,
Pilots, the Navy pilots that have come out, like the admirals themselves. That are
Commercial
like,
pilots have
there's
said
other
the same
shit out
thing.
there. And that they've studied UFOs, that they're a real thing. You know,
They've seen them on the radar. They have seen something flying faster than what we have. We don't have any aircraft that's going as fast as what they see them going on the
way
radar.
that they drop
They're paid
it,
off.
come up
And they
They're paid to
zip
say
through.
that.
They're able to
Crazy.
go
They're
through.
paid
the
to say
thing.
that.
Again,
Yes.
I do agree that we can't be the only people in the universe, but again, I have not seen evidence.
Okay.
I keep an open mind about it.
I
I
do.
haven't
I
seen
do.
evidence of God, but that doesn't mean that I don't believe in a God.
I believe in a God. I don't believe in the God that everybody else believes in. But
Okay.
I do believe in a God.
But you've never seen him.
I can't believe that. Again, I can't believe that this beautiful Earth that we have wasn't created by a God.
Really?
Really. But at the same time, I
So you don't believe in the theory of evolution?
I believe in the theory of evolution, but I also believe that God created everything.
The dinosaurs too?
Yeah, well, you know I believe in dinosaurs.
Right, but God created the dinosaurs?
Yes, I mean, we have dinosaur bones. How can people not say that we don't have dinosaurs?
There are Christians who say that the dinosaur bones were placed there by the devil to persuade you into not believing in Christ.
Wow.
That is their theory.
That is a theory.
Okay, so we're gonna finish out the. Do you think we're finished with the conspiracy theories?
Well, we could keep on talking about conspiracy theories. It's just how much more do we want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about what's going on in the Dominican Republic before we ended this podcast, because
That's a
I just
good
feel like that is just something that needs to be talked about.
It's funny because, it kind of hits close to home with me because my significant other, of course, is Hispanic. So there's a lot of things that's going on with, especially some family and stuff that's over there, that's close to over there. There's people that are even getting ready to go over there. Like, case in point, her good friend's sister,
Ray's wife, Jen.
yes, her best friend has a sister that's having a wedding in the
There's no way. I would no way.
Exactly. Okay,
So
way.
the question is, would you still travel to the Dominican Republic
no.
given all the deaths?
Hell no. It's like 10 people.
with all of the
Some
deaths
of the
that
other
are
things.
actually going on. But what I found to be ridiculous is, and I understand it's about making money and stuff. The venue that they're holding it in the DR. When the concern came up from a lot of people in the United States, like, is this safe? Is this something to go ahead and do? They talked to this was basically spoke to through to the bride. The bride contacts the venue and says, hey, is this going to be safe? Absolutely, it's going to go ahead and be safe.
Well, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course
So my thing about it is, how can someone, and it goes back to the money. I've always said this world is driven by money big time. It's just like, how is it that you're going to be so adamant about knowing that 9 to 10 people died, and they're asking you, is it safe for us to go ahead and come over there to go ahead and have this wedding? Of course, this person's going to go ahead and say yes, and as they did, they said yes. But, my thing is, would I travel over there? Hell no.
Yeah.
It was
I
maybe no
wonder-
reason why it would be. I couldn't do it because, number one, the only way that I could do it, I take that back, is when we find out reason why people are dying in these huge
And
months.
don't drink any alcohol.
Yes, that's the new thing that they were talking about. That
Well, do we have a cause for death?
No,
Well,
there is no known cause of death.
Everybody's investigating. The biggest thing that that is credible right now is the mini bars.
Yeah,
They're saying that the mini bars and the alcohol that they're purchasing, whether
Counterfeit.
it's counterfeit.
What is counterfeit alcohol?
It's fake stuff that looks like alcohol but is not. And it's
Diluted
cheaper.
with other
They're just
fillers.
filling up bottles.
They're fill-
What are they filling it up with?
with fillers or diluted
Poison.
with other
Yes.
things. You could use anything.
It depends on
It's happened in Mexico.
Yeah, it has happened in Mexico.
like
It just-
some bathtub mix shit, man, and you never know what you get in there.
Yeah.
You have to look at it. We can go on conspiracy theories and all the rest of that stuff like that, or with ISIS and stuff. What's the best way to go ahead and start killing off people?
Well, ISIS
is
is taking
some
credit for it.
drinking alcohol or whatever when they're doing
Yeah.
vacation, where their guard is at the very lowest.
Yes.
So it could be, like I said, it's not. It's been reported that they're doing investigations on alcohol, and that's the leading thing because with all of these people, it seems like that's the only commonality that they've had
Yeah,
with
because
what's
they
going
all
One
on.
of the most well-known resorts over there is the Hard Rock Hotel.
Yes.
And they have pulled all of their mini bars.
Oh wow!
They have pulled. Yes, they have. The Hard Rock has, and all of the duty frees as well too.
Okay.
Because what happens is with the duty frees, they do get support from shipping and imports from there over there. So they basically pulled all lines, and we're talking about Crown Royal. We're talking about Johnny Walker. We're talking a lot of the top shelf stuff. So now people are if they are going to go ahead and travel, they can't even get loose like they was and actually drink in the thought process of that. If I drink this, I may be sick or die.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
That is one of the theories, but it doesn't cover all of the deaths.
Yes.
There have been people who didn't drink from the mini
Well,
bars
that's
and
what I was
still
going to
died
say.
anyway.
I feel like it's a target because I feel like it's a target
Someone
for
who's
Americans.
anti-American.
They're anti-American. And the thing is, these are all people from all different walks of life. I've seen white people, black people, older, younger.
They're
I mean,
Americans.
it's a wide variety of people. I mean, and it's different. They're all
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
They're not reporting on British or German or Dutch
They're
or any of
not.
these
It's
other
all
visitors.
Americans.
It's all Americans.
It's all Americans, yeah.
Maybe they're just spiteful. They see all these people having fun, and a lot of them are poor over there because those are third world countries, and they're just like,
Maybe they hate us because of Trump.
nah.
Or maybe it's an individual.
I thought that too. I thought it could be one person doing all this
It
targeting.
could be like this little group.
Yeah.
Maybe how long?
Maybe
before
it's
ISIS
the
takes
Illuminati.
fucking-
Yeah.
or ISIS and the
That's
Illuminati
right, too.
together.
That's right too.
I'm just saying, it's the same
That's
crazy
right.
thought. Well, it's
That's
just,
right.
Could be.
It could be, but
But the
I-
answer
maybe it's
is
the
I
aliens.
wouldn't travel there.
I wouldn't.
Not
we
until it's
talked
solved.
about. We talked about.
We've actually talked about going there,
Yes.
but not until it's solved. Until they find out what the
Go
cause
somewhere
is.
else.
But now let me ask this: let's say it never gets solved.
Then I guess we don't go to.
Do you
the
just
Dominican
decide that you
Republic.
just never go to the?
I have
We
started
are
to
never
live
going.
with never going there. I would continue to live with
So
never
many
going
other-
No, I understand that, but I understand that you would have no problem. You both, all of us would have no problem.
No.
But it's just like when this because tourism is a heavy component
It's
for them. Is
huge
this
for
so?
them.
This can
Yes.
basically cripple them. So on the end of thinking it's being done because of us, maybe it's because of somebody in the Dominican Republic that they're trying to go ahead and cripple them even that much more as as that island
I
and
didn't
stuff.
think about it.
It could be
like that.
to destroy.
Yeah, destroy,
Yeah. The only difference between Haiti And the Dominican Republic, which they share the same island,
They share the
is
same
that
island.
tourism goes there.
go there.
It doesn't go to Haiti.
And that's why we were going to go. We've been to Haiti before, so we was going to go to Dominican Republic. And then we found out some of their prices for our hotels are very
they're great
nice.
deals.
They're great
And
super deals.
they're all in one resort.
Listen, the biggest thing is when you start pulling alcohol and tourism and all of these different things out of that, and they're some of these big liquor distributors and suppliers that are over here saying, no, it's not safe for us to go ahead. We don't want to get our name smashed because this and that and the other. You will cripple a country, a city, or whatever it is, being that it's made up of that. So again,
their number one resource is the
tourism.
The
Yes.
revenue is going to go way down. So what do they do then at that point? Does their government just step in and try to do something about it?
I would be inviting every expert on the planet to come in and try to solve it.
Agreed.
That's
because,
crazy. That's
you know,
almost what Mexico's trying to do right now is to stop Trump over here from taxing them. They stopped like so many illegal people from going over the wall because Trump was like, I'm going to raise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did raise the tariffs
He did.
on them
He did
because
not.
the people would not stop
did not.
coming over.
He threatened it, but
He threatened it, yes.
So that's all he's doing.
But it's still on the table. He says
Still on
that
the table.
if they don't stop the people coming in, he's going to raise the
But
tariffs.
they've made efforts to stop people coming in
Yes,
now.
they have.
And it's the thing that, all he had to do was say something.
So for $1 million, you want to go to DR?
No.
$1 million, you wouldn't go to the DR.
I would spend my money elsewhere.
You wouldn't
I'll
go.
go-
No, you have to go to the DR.
Okay, for $1 million, I would go to the Dominican Republic, and I would be very, very careful.
Would you, for $1 million, would you go?
I'd have a very safe time.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
but how would you know you have your
wouldn't
same
do it.
I'm packing lunches.
I'm gonna go on like a fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fast and lose weight.
I'm
detoxify my body.
I would be very careful.
Meditate.
That's all my voice. I would not. I mean, you can't.
For $1
you
million
don't know.
dollars.
Okay,
For-
no, you don't know if it's the food. You don't know if it's the drink. You don't know if somebody's like coming into your room and injecting you with something that ain't found yet. It could be so many things. So why would you even put yourself out there?
It's $1 million.
Hell no.
It's $1 million.
I don't like money that much.
I've
Not a lot of my life.
naked and afraid and alone enough times, to survive.
I survived. That's why I ain't going to take
That's
this
why I
afraid. Or alone.
I'll survive there in the DR. I'll just be waiting by the door, like meditating and shit.
I stay in the airport. I stay in the airport for $1 million. You said you go to the Dominican Republic. I'll just stay in the airport.
Okay.
Do we have any other conspiracy?
Seriously?
It seems like we've reached an end of the Dominican Republic.
It's just, but I don't see why y'all would take that chance. You don't know why these people are dying.
Listen,
no one knows yet.
Terry, I take the chance in America and do it for free. You know that it
We
really
ain't got no choice here.
Yeah, we take that choice. So if we go to a movie, somebody being crazy coming and shooting up,
there's so many horrible things that happen.
We can go around and around.
It's just another place. I'm not gonna let like some punk ass 10 people scare me from going to the DR for $1 million
It's
fucking dollars.
11 now.
It's 11.
That's okay.
Growing.
That's $1 million.
Growing.
I mean, some people just go there for free. Some people pay to go there. Like the people that died, they pay to go there.
I would like to know how many Americans have gone and still are going with all this death.
Listen, I just told you.
See, even though she's still having the wedding there, I wonder how many of her guests
I
are
would
going
not-
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's a guest. Tiffany's a guest. So therefore, she was going to be going with her dad. She was going to be going with her daughter.
All not going down?
Her dad said, "No, we shutting that down."
Oh, hell
He
yeah.
was like,
Look
He
at
was just
that.
like, they were like, no. So of course, everybody's kind of in. Tiffany had a great point. She was just like, "Listen, we have all of these people coming into your family, all." Everyone. She says, if this goes sideways, you can eliminate our whole entire family in one single shot. And I can completely understand that. That's just like saying, my lineage will never be known because I went to the DR to go hit a party and stuff like that and I died.
Okay, I'll give you the same for instance, and I know you're going to think this is kind of drastic, but I'm going to give you the same for instance. Since Orlando is the #1 tourist capital of the world.
The world. Yeah.
And we rely on Disney World. Orlando relies on Disney World.
It's
for pretty much
everything. It's
Yes,
all
everything.
of them. Universal.
So if people started dying off at Disney World, 11 people, would people stop coming?
No,
Yes.
because people have died.
No,
Not like-
people
not
who died,
like
they
this.
died had questionable.
No.
See, that's the thing. These are questionable deaths. They're
So
not just
11
deaths, they're
people
questionable.
die at Disney World, and you trying to tell me they're not going to get to the bottom of it?
There was just a chance of a bombing back when the back when the World Trade Center.
I remember, yes, because they was talking about that.
But because there were bomb threats, the tourism market went down by 30-something%.
Mm-hmm.
I know because I'm in the tourism business, and it took 3 years to recover from that.
Yes.
3 years.
Fear's a real thing.
I think, with Orlando, to your point, I think it would completely hurt it, but I think people would then have other alternatives. They go to LA. They'll still do the tourism aspect, but it would be Vegas. They'd find other things, going to Colorado to go skiing and all the rest of that stuff.
Talking about the Dominican Republic, they're only one of the Caribbean islands.
Yes.
I mean, there's still a gazillion.
Anywhere else, Bahamas.
Yeah.
That are not having deaths. Questionable deaths.
Technically,
we should say.
questionable
People
deaths.
die. People die everywhere, but these are mysterious deaths that people can't explain.
Very true.
The unexplained.
Were they all within the same time? What was the time frame? Like 6 months? 6, 7 months?
Within the past 4 to 6 months.
Okay, so that's a problem.
Yes.
I think the one that scares me the most was the couple. The couple that had no health issues
problems
at all. And they were
at all.
both found dead in the room. I mean,
How do we know that? I mean, again, how do you know someone isn't? I don't take those chances.
Don't stay in those hotels.
what else?
I mean, what hotels do you know? What hotels do you know? I mean, some people were staying in different hotels. It wasn't all in the
they've
same
been
hotel.
spread out.
They've been
There's
spread
not just
out.
one. Yeah. There was one resort that's had 4 deaths,
Probably don't stay
but the
there.
other ones have all been spread out.
For them to get resolution to put it to bed for anything, as you said, Mike, and it's been mentioned, you have to have experts of all walks of life and land.
Which
just
is
go ahead
basically
and
what's
just
happening.
Yes.
They've got the finest of the finest.
It's the finest and the finest, and they all need to come. I mean, whatever their time frame is to do their research and stuff like that. Build a book to go ahead and tell and basically address each and everything with what they got from it, and it can't be a question mark.
And lots of these are outside agencies, some of them from our own country, because they don't
Yeah.
trust the Dominican Republic government because tourism is so important to them. So, of course, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, when horrible things happen, attendance goes down. The thing that happened in Vegas,
I'm sure it already has.
it went down for a while, but then
Yes.
it popped back
Oh, that
up.
shooting.
Right? The shooting in
Yeah.
Vegas, the country music thing.
Yeah.
That it went down for a while.
People
but
still don't stay in that hotel.
Hotel anymore,
They're
yeah.
practically going out of
yeah,
business.
we went into that hotel. Remember we walked,
It was empty.
walked in, and it was hardly no one in that
Yeah.
hotel.
I've forgotten which one it is. I think it's one of the MGM properties.
The Mandalay Bay.
I forgot.
Sounds right.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
But whichever one it was, when we were visiting, we walked through it
Yeah,
and there was nobody
right
there.
there.
That was a while back ago too.
Yeah.
So that is our conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy
It's a few of them.
theory.
It's a few.
Just
And do you have any yourself? I mean, throw some at us. Let us know.
Are you a follower of any of these conspiracy theories?
what do you believe?
Yes.
Are you here to put us to school with your
Please do.
thought process? Please do.
Please
Please. I would love
Yes.
to know someone with a UFO. Please, inbox.
If you got
that
evidence,
for sure.
send us the evidence. We'll post it up.
Nah,
Yes.
I don't believe shit.
at all.
If you think the earth is flat, don't say it out loud. You might lose some
I'm
friends.
sorry for saying it that way. If aliens were here, show me. I mean, I'm serious.
I'm kind of like thinking you a little bit of an alien. Morning to morning, you a different type of breed.
no, because I have my music in the morning. Like I have my music.
That's not where we're at.
Are we going to say goodbye?
No. Yes,
We're not gonna say goodbye?
You're gonna say
So
goodbye.
thanks for tuning in, guys.
Remember
great
to
time.
subscribe.
Subscribe, like,
Comment
share.
down below.
Yeah.
Comment, definitely comment.
Send
Like.
UFO photos, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever.
Comment.
Comment, share, subscribe. Big times.
Send news.
Tell all your family and friends.
Send nudes. Send them.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Do it for Orlando.
But
Do it for the tall table.
thank you for watching, and we are always glad to have people view our videos. And again, tell your friends to tell everybody about the Tall Table. We want to get this out. We want to bring you more shows like this. So please tell everyone that you know about the Tall
Please,
Table.
please, please.
Please.
Please. Okay.
So I will start the wave. Goodbye.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta say live the best life.
Oh.
Live your
Best.
Live.
That sounds so natural.
always we win.